Hi Aquarius, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your March 1st through the 15th, 2018 tarot reading with a little bit of astrology. Aquarius, you are a fixed air sign and you rule the 11th house. You're ruled by Uranus. Now, the 11th house has to do with the interconnectedness of all of us, all beings on this planet, how we get along and how what we do affects the other and how we can do things that can help the others, and you're kind of about that. You're also kind of an activist energy too. You like things to benefit the collective. Highly intelligent side and ruled by Uranus. Uranus is a progressive, forward-thinking energy, but also a very unpredictable energy. Kind of like the mad scientist in a sense. He's like, let's try this, let's try this. So it's an unpredictable energy, but it's also very progressive. It's a self-initiating, and it's a self-initiator of change. It makes the change happen, and then it seeks to make change, things that have changed better. If that makes sense. I wanted to get into some astrology that's occurring. So Uranus, your ruling planet at this point in time, happens to be in Aries. It has been for a while, but it is going to be making a move into Taurus in May. That's going to be a big deal. Again, it's an unpredictable energy, and it loves change and it loves progress. So it's going to break up old things that have to do with Taurus in the second house, which could mean banks. It could also mean the earth. So big things happening in May and beyond, possibly, as a result of that energy of your ruling planet. It is making a trine on the 11th of March, which is a lovely conversation that has Mars in Sagittarius. Mars is happy in Sagittarius. Mars is the warrior planet, and it's the ruler of Aries. In Sagittarius, which is an expansive, investigative, truth-seeking energy, traveling energy, loving to learn and find the core essence of something, the truth of something, which you're kind of down with too. You kind of like that. It's making a lovely conversation with your ruling planet Uranus in Aries. This is on the 11th of March. So, meaning when I say a lovely conversation, it means that there are enough similar energies and their placements on the natal chart at the time that this is occurring have enough elements that complement each other that allows for a productive conversation, a very fertile, productive conversation. So that could mean that the expansive, investigative energy of Sagittarius, with Mars feeding it with fire, conversing with Uranus, the unpredictable and ever-changing and progressive energy that is Aquarius, in Aries, fueled by fire, it can make for a very good conversation for progress. Big technological progress is occurring. Possibility of incredible technological progress occurring in that time frame around the March 11th. So it could be that we find some cure for something that's long eluded us. Things like that. So we might find out that somebody's going to be walking on Mars, or somebody's going to be walking on Venus, or what have you. Something big like that. On the 1st and the 2nd of March, I know I'm going backwards, sorry about that. The 1st and the 2nd of March is a full moon in Virgo, which begs the question of the connection between mind and body. Is your mind and your body connected? Do you live a life that values both? Or do you live more in one than the other? And it's a positive full moon, so there's no wrong answer to that question. It just asks that you ask the question, honor the answer, and then investigate that response that you gave. On the 8th, Jupiter, the expansive energy and ruler of Sagittarius, goes retrograde. It's currently in the sign of Scorpio, which is the 8th house, having to do with the shadow world, things that are hidden and repressed. So it's given its expansive and illuminating energy to some things and brought them to light, such as the incredible inequity of power in the workplace, in many different types of workplaces, between men and women, or those that hold the power and those that don't. And the kind of icky things that have occurred as a result of that disparity of power. Now that we've illuminated that with that energy with Jupiter, now that it's going retrograde, it gives Jupiter the opportunity to say, okay, well, we've illuminated it, we've brought it to light. What does it mean? And what do we do about it? That kind of thing. Talked about the 11th. Oh, and then on the 15th, the last day of this reading time frame, the moon will be entering Aquarius. which is, it's an interesting place for the moon. So the moon has to do with things that tend to be right brain, and Aquarius I associate definitely with the left brain. Aquarius is cool, analytical logic, scientific method, please. Deductive reasoning, please. The moon is the opposite of that. It is intuition. It is the chaotic world of dreams and archetypes and the unconscious. So it's a difficult thing to grasp. It's a watery energy, but it's just as powerful. Just as the two hemispheres of the brain exist for a reason, one cannot be negated over the other. So this is a great example of the absolute opposite dichotomy. The dichotomy, or the opposition, the paradox of the moon in Aquarius is it kind of forces Aquarian energy to stop the left brain thinking and tabulating and measuring and quantifying for a moment and just consider what it can't quantify. Because it's still there whether you measure it or not, or think about it or not, or conceptualize it or not, or even want to believe that it exists or not. You still need to consider it because it's there. So on this day, the 10th, it's going to show itself. No, not the 10th, the 15th, I'm sorry, when the moon goes into Aquarius. So that'll be an interesting time. I love that play off of absolute opposites. The chaos of the unknown or the unconscious, and the cool collective scientific method of the Aquarian world, the 11th house. So interesting. All right, Aquarius, that's all I've got. This second going on this was much faster. I need to shut the hell up during my readings. I'm doing a 4-card pull for you. It is based upon something in your life, something that you are lending energy to, or you're experiencing, or you're thinking about, something that's got your attention right now, basically. That's the first card. Second card is a positive aspect of that. Third card is a negative aspect of that. Fourth card, or any others, generally tend to be about the overall advice that Spirit provides. I'm using the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith, which is a Rider-Waite-Smith system deck. I've got the archetype cards if we need them for clarification. They are loosely based upon Jungian archetypes. Let's get going. This is for Aquarius. Fixed, air, ruler of the 11th house, ruled by Uranus. 11th house being about collectivism, about not only our part in the world, but everyone's part in the world, and our effect on everyone. That ripple in the pond idea, and all the fish in the pond, and all that jazz. What's going on with Aquarius for March 1st through the 15th, 2018? Fixed air. The idea of I know. The investigator. Progress, activist, 11th house, Aquarius. March 1st through the 15th, 2018. Holy Hecate. What is vexing Aquarius's big brain? Thank you. For March 1st through the 15th, 2018. It's your own card in reverse. Is your health bad? Are you divorcing too much from your body? Let's see. Positive aspect. By the way, that is major arcana, so, oh, okay. Positive aspect, okay. I think you might have had something similar last month where interpersonal relationships were taxing you to the point of stress. They always do, don't they? So your first card is what's on your mind right now, is your own card in reverse. This is major arcana, so this is a life lesson. The star in reverse is the opposite of what it is, and more. But very often it has to do with possible health issues, which is why I brought that up right away. The positive aspect of this is the end of some kind of a relationship, or possibly the end of you being at odds with yourself over something. Very much like Libra, because you consider other parties. The 11th house considers the collective. Libra, the 7th house, considers others, period. You know, their views as well as their own. You might be at odds with some way of thinking in yourself. Let me keep going here. Negative aspect. Everything's reversed. Something to do with work, perhaps? Are you stressing out because of work? Overall advice. Whoa, everything's in reverse, dude. We've got 2 cup cards, so part of this has to do with emotion. Okay, so I think that you're in a situation. Okay, so what you're sitting in is your own card in reverse, and this has. I have a feeling this has to do with your health. The positive aspect of this is you ending some kind of a connection, possibly an intimate relationship, possibly about you being at odds with yourself. The negative aspect is the negative side of work. So there's a group of people in your life. Oh, got it. So Aquarius, Aquarius, your partner has been, there may be some infidelity. And I think you're realizing it. Okay, so there's a reason you're feeling like this. And you may not know it completely. One thing about Aquarius is sometimes they're really in their head. And they're really looking at what's in front of them. Where's the proof of this? You know, how can I quantify or even come to a conclusion if I don't have proof in front of me? Where's the proof to this situation? So I think you've been sitting in a situation where it hasn't felt good for a while. And I think it has had some kind of an effect on your health that maybe you're just now starting to realize. Like you're just now starting to wake up very, very tired because you haven't been sleeping at night. You're just now starting to feel some physical manifestation of the emotional upheaval you've been in. So you really have, something has been vexing you, actually. Now that you're starting to see that, you're starting to see that the source of this could be the relationship. And this is actually good that you're focusing on it. Again, Aquarius can be, and I'm not having a go at you, Aquarius, because it's because of you and your future thinking ideas that we actually make progress in the world, the dense apes that we are. But sometimes you are so up there in the ethers that you're in the sky that you are not seeing what's right in front of you. So however this is manifested in your world, whether you are feeling physically not well, if you are feeling in your gut that something's not right with the relationship, like you're feeling not necessarily jealous but untrusting, something is manifested in your life that you're finally physically paying attention to. And I think you're now, and this is good, starting to see that the source of this problem is this relationship. And you're tired of working on it. And what Spirit is trying to advise you is that this party is already, whether they say it or not, departed the relationship. This party is not a trustworthy party. This partner of yours. It could also be, and again, I'm not having a go here, but it could also be that work, that the negative aspect or part of the reason that this occurred is that your work life took you away. Not only is it your nature to be up here thinking about progress and not necessarily looking at what's in front of you, but your work life, your actual career might have kept you away from so busy that you didn't see things that were possibly quite obvious to other people had they mentally been present in the situation. I'm not saying that their infidelity is your fault. I am not saying that at all. I'm saying that you trusted. And when you trust someone, you feel comfortable to focus your attention elsewhere. Okay, I know that we're good. I don't need to, sit there and worry and watch what you do every 5 seconds. Apparently, this party was not as trustworthy as you initially thought, and you missed something, although you're seeing it now. So yeah, Aquarius, it looks like you're starting to see the light, that the reason for the way you're feeling and kind of an icky, unpleasant feeling has to do with your intimate partnership that you've invested in. And it looks like you're about done with it. And Spirit is advising you that whether you see the tangible evidence of this in front of you or not, this person was not trustworthy. So if you never find out that they were cheating, if you're never able to gather enough evidence to actually throw down the gavel and rule on it, it doesn't matter. Spirit is advising you here, regardless, they did. And even if you don't want to believe it without the proof, they're not trustworthy. So this is one of those instances where you're going to have to throw logic to the wind a little bit and go with intuition and gut, because it's talking to you right now. And you're starting to see why it's talking to you. So trust your intuition, trust a higher source than this ape-like existence, physical existence that we're in. Sometimes I think apes are a bit smarter, way smarter than we are. I hope that made sense. You're starting to realize somebody has been cheating, and Spirit, and whether or not you ever get the evidence of it, they have. Spirit's confirming that. And don't put too much effort into it any longer. I hope that makes sense. All right, Aquarius, I'm really sorry. I wish it were something more positive, like you're going to win $1 million. Maybe next month. Okay, if you have questions or comments on the reading, please leave them in the comments section below. If you'd like to book a reading, please email me at memememes@hotmail.com. You'll find that email address in the description box below the video, along with my pricing, which is very reasonable, I think. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did. That way you can keep an open dialogue going, and you can have a nosy at your friends and family and what's going on with their energy. And finally, if I don't hear from you in the email or in the comments section, hopefully I will talk to you next month for or the second half of this month's readings or the lunations. All right, Aquarius, you take care.